History. When Hongwu Emperor's son, Zhu became the Yongle Emperor, he moved the capital from Nanjing to Beijing, and construction began on 1406 on what would become the Forbidden City. Construction lasted 14 years and required more than 1,000,000 workers. Materials used include whole logs of precious Nanmu wood found in the jungle of southwestern China, and large blocks of marbles from quarries near Beijing. The floors of major halls were paved with golden bricks, specially made paving bricks from Suzhou. From 1420 to 1644, the Forbidden City was the seat of the Ming Dynasty. In April 1644, it was captured by rebel forces led by Li Jucheng, who proclaimed himself emperor of the Sun Dynasty. He soon fled before the combined armies of former Ming general Wu Sangui and Manchu force, setting fire to parts of the Forbidden City in the process. By October, the Manchus had achieved supremacy in northern China, and the ceremony was held at the Forbidden City to proclaim the young Sunzhi Emperor as ruler of all China under the Qing dynasty. The Qing rulers changed the names of some on the principal buildings to emphasize harmony rather than supremacy, made nameplates bilingual, and introduced shamanist elements to the palace. In 1860, during the Second Opium War, Anglo-French forces took control of the Forbidden City and occupied it until the end of the war. In 1900, Empress Dowager Cixi fled from the Forbidden City during the Boxer Rebellion, leaving it to be occupied by force of treaty powers until the following years. After being the home of the After being the home of 24 emperors, 14 of the Ming dynasty and 10 of the Qing dynasty, the Forbidden City ceased being the political center of China in 1912 with the abdication of Puyi, the last emperor of China. Under an agreement with the new Republic of China government, Puyi remained in the inner court, while the outer court was given to public use. Until he was evicted after a coup in 1924, the Palace Museum was then established in the Forbidden City in 1925. In 1933, the Japanese invasion of China forced the evacuation of national treasures in the Forbidden City. Part of the collection was returned at the end of World War II, but the other part was evacuated to Taiwan in 1948 under orders of Chiang Kai-shek, whose Kuomintang was losing the Chinese Civil War. This relatively small but high-quality collection was kept in the storage until 1965, when it again became public at the core of National Palace Museum in Taipei. After the establishment of the People's Republic of China in 1949, some damage was done to the Forbidden City as the country was swept up in the Revolutionary Zeal. During the Cultural Revolution, however, further destruction was prevented when Premier Zhou Enlai sent an army battalion to guard the city. The Forbidden City was declared a World Heritage Site in 1987 by UNESCO as the Imperial Palace of the Ming and Qing dynasties, due to its significant place in the development of Chinese architecture and culture. It is currently administered by the Palace Museum, which is carrying out a 16-year restoration project to repair and restore all buildings in the Forbidden City to their pre-1912 state. And on November 8, 2017, President of the United States Donald Trump was the first United States President to be granted a state dinner in the Forbidden City since the founding of the People's Republic of China.
The collections of the Palace Museum are based on Qing Imperial Collection, including paintings, ceramic, seal, steel, sculpture, inscribed wares, bronzeware, enamel objects. According to the latest audit, it has 1,862,690 pieces of art. In addition, the Imperial Library houses a large collection of rare books and historical documents, including government documents of the Ming and Qing dynasty, which has since been transferred to the first historical archives. The architecture. The design of the Forbidden City, from its overall layout to the smallest detail, was meticulously planned to reflect philosophical and religious principles, and above all to symbolize the majesty of imperial power. Some noted examples of symbolic designs include: yellow is the color of the emperor. Almost all roofs in the Forbidden City bear yellow glazed tiles. There are only two exceptions. The library at the Pavilion of Literary Profundity had black tiles because black was associated with water and fire prevention. The Crown Prince residences have green tiles because green was associated with wood and growth. The main halls of theater and inner courts are all arranged in groups of 3, in the shape of Qian triagram, representing heaven. The residents in the inner court, on the other hand, are arranged in groups of 6, representing the earth.